Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وعن عبد الله بن أبي بكر بن محمد بن عمرو بن حزم إن في الكتاب الذي كتبه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لعمر بن حزم ألا يمس قرآن إلا طاهر رواه مالك والدارقطني. Narrated from Abdullah bin Abi Bakr bin Muhammad bin Amr bin Hazm that indeed in the kitab which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wrote to Amr bin Hazm that nobody should touch the Quran except in a pure state. That's night from Imam Malik, Malik and Daraqutni also. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sent Amr ibn Hazm to the boundaries of Yemen as a governor, and he wrote then a book to him to follow certain rules. So in that kitab was the point here that nobody should touch the Quran except somebody who is park and pure. والنافع رضي الله عنه قال انطلقت مع ابن عمر في حاجة فقضى ابن عمر حاجته وكان من حديثه يومئذ قال مر رجل في سكة من سكك من السكك فلقي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وقد خرج من غائط أو بول فسلم عليه فلم يرد عليه حتى إذا كاد الرجل أن يتوارى في السكة ضرب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بيده على الحائط ومسح بهما وجهه ثم ضرب ضربة أخرى فمسح ذراعيه ثم رد على الرجل السلام وقال إنه لم يمنعني أن أرد عليك السلام إلا أني لم أكن على طهر رواه أبو داود. Now it was a Nafi radiallahu anhu said, I went with Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu in some need of his. Then when Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu fulfilled his need, then he mentioned, then from his speech on that day was, he said that a man passed by in a lane from the many lanes. Then he met Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam whilst Nabi Kareem was coming out from a passing stool or passing urine. Then he made salam upon Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam didn't return upon him the salam until when the man was close to going or what you say, the Tahaarah is to hide away, right? So basically he was about to disappear from the line, right? Then Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam hit with his hands upon the wall and he wiped with it his face. Then he hit another strike. Then he wiped his arms. So he made tayammum, right? Then he returned upon the man the salam and he said, indeed nothing did not prevent me to return upon your salam except that I wasn't in the state of wuzu. Narrated by Abu Dawud. Right. Now, so salam is also one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, out of respect, Nabi Karim Sallam didn't want to take it without wuzu. Right? So there is also now the other hadith, kana yadhkurullah ala kulli ahyani. Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to read Quran at every time. You understand it? So that hadith will now refer to rukhsat. In other words, what is permissible to do. You can read Quran, you can make zikr without wuzu. You understand it? And here Nabi Karim Sallallahu practice on azimat, which is what is better. Should try to be in the state of wuzu almost at all times. From this hadith, you understand one is that to reply the salam is wajib. The second you learn is also that if somebody for some reason or excuse could not give the reply, then he needs to state that excuse to that person so that the person doesn't feel hurt why you never reply his salam. Right. وعن المهاجر بن كنفذ رضي الله عنه أنه قال أتى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه أتى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو يبول فسلم عليه فلم يرد عليه حتى توضأ ثم اعتذر إليه وقال إني كرهت أن أذكر الله إلا على طهر رواه أبو داود وروى النسائي إلى قوله حتى توضأ وقال فلما توضأ رد عليهم. Hazrat Muajib ibn Kunfus narrates that he came to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam while he was passing urine, and he made salam upon him. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did not reply him until he made wuzu. Then he made an excuse to him and he said that I dislike to take the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except with wuzu. Abu Dawud and Nasai also until his statement, Hatta tawadda. And he also says, Falamma tawadda radda alayhi. That when he made wuzu, then he replied him. So his words were slightly different. Right, Al-Faslu Thalis. An Salmata radiallahu anha قالت كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يجنب ثم ينام ثم ينشبه ثم ينام رواه أحمد. The night from Salma radiallahu anha, she said that Nabi Karim would be in a state of janabat, then he would sleep, then he would awaken, then he would sleep, narrated by Imam Ahmad. Right, so this hadith here now doesn't state that in between after janabat did he make wuzu and then sleep. It doesn't state that. So we can take it from anyway that he did make wuzu. It doesn't state he made wuzu. But it's possible he made wuzu, then he slept. You understand it? So that's one. Or the other is you can say he did this to show it's permissible also to sleep without making wuzu after getting into the state of janabat. وعن شعبة رضي الله عنه قال إن ابن عباس كان إذا اغتسل من الجنابة يفرغ بيده اليمنى على يده اليسرى 7 مرات ثم يغسل فرجه فنسي مرة كم أفرغ فسألني فقلت لا أدري فقال لا أم لك وما يمنعك أن تدري ثم يتوضأ وضوءه للصلاة ثم يفيض على جلده الماء ثم يقول هكذا كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يتطهر رواه أبو داود. Now from Shu'bah radiallahu anhu rahmatullah alayhi said Ibn Abbas, I'm not sure if he's a tabi or sahabi, most probably a tabi, right? Ibn Abbas, when you made ghusl from janabat, you pour what his right hand upon his left hand 7 times. Then you will wash his farj, his private parts. Then he forgot at one time how much he poured. So he asked me, so I said, I also don't know. So he said, La ummalak. There is no mother for you. In other words, like a sort of rebuking statement, right? These words, the hakikat is not meant, right? It's just like statements, which is, in this case, it's referring to a rebuke. And what prevents you to know? Then he made wuzu for salah. Then he poured upon his skin water. Then he said like this, Nabi Karim Sallallahu used to cleanse and make ghusl. So now here we see that he poured 7 times water. You understand? يفرغ بيده 7 مرات, 7 times. So they say that this is possible that Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, for some special reason, he washed his hands there 7 times, because 3 times is normally sufficient. But for some other reason, his hands maybe was taking long to get clean, that he washed it 7 times. Right. When Abi Rafi'in radiallahu anhu qala inna Rasulullah tawafa dhata yawmin على نسائه يغتسل عند هذه وعند هذه قال فقلت يا رسول الله ألا تجعله غسلا واحدا آخرا قال هذا أزكى وأطيب وأطهر رواه أحمد وأبو داود. And from Abu Rafi, he said Nabi Karim Sallallahu he rotated one day by all his wives, right? Making ghusl by this one and by that one. And he said, then he said that I said, oh, Nabi Karim Sallallahu, why don't you make it one ghusl right at the end? So he said, this is more pure, more pleasant, and more cleansing. Narrated by Ahmad and Abu Dawud. So you're going to make that big now between the 2 riwayats, because the other riwayat added that he went and he only made ghusl at the end. You understand? So you make that big, that this riwayat obviously shows permissibility, right? That you can do that without making ghusl in between. And the other riwayat will show what is better to do. Right. وعن الحكم بن عمرو رضي الله عنه قال نهى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يتوضأ الرجل بفضل طهور المرأة. رواه أبو داود وابن ماجه والترمذي وزاد أو قال بسورها، وقال هذا حديث حسن صحيح. Narrated from Hakam ibn Amr radiallahu anhu said Nabi Karim sallallahu prohibited that a man should make wuzu with the leftover water of the woman. Imam Abu Dawud ibn Majah and Tirmidhi has narrated this, and increase, or he said, with the leftover water of the woman. And he said this is a hadith which is Hasan and Sahih, right? So what we say here is that this is, we'll say that is makruh tanzihi. It's permissible to make, from the other hadith we did learn, that it is permissible to make wuzu with the leftover water of a woman, right? So what we'll say, that it is makruh tanzihi though, because of this hadith, right? No, you remember they scooping out of the trough, right? So when you put your water into your hand into the trough, not with the intention of cleansing it, with the intention of taking water, then that water don't become mai mustamal. But if you put your hand into the trough with the intention of cleansing, then that water becomes mai mustamal now. So therefore, the correct way is that even in halat janaba, if you put your hands into the water with the intention of taking water out, then the remainder of the water remains on its state. It doesn't become mai mustamal. So that's the leftover water they're talking about now. The woman finished taking a ghusl of wuzu. She used there's leftover water in the basin now, or in the bucket. Now can the man use it or not? So therefore the hadith say you can't. So we say it's makruh tanzih, because other hadith show it's permissible. All right. Let's do one more. وأن حميد الحميري أنه قال لقيت رجلا صاحبا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم 4 سنين كما صاحبه أبو هريرة رضي الله عنه قال نهى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن تغتسل المرأة بفضل الرجل أو يغتسل الرجل بفضل المرأة. زاد مسدد وليغترفا جميعا. رواه أبو داود النسائي وزاد أحمد في أوله نهى أن يمتشط أحدنا كل يوم أو يبول في مغتسل. ورواه ابن ماجه عن عبد الله بن سرجس. Narrated from Humayr al-Humayri, said, I met a man who was in the Sahbat, in the company of Nabi Karim for 4 years, just as Imam Abu Hurairah was in his Sahbat. And he said that Rasul prohibited that a woman should make ghusl with the leftover of the man, or a man should make ghusl with the leftover of a woman. And Musaddad increased, and he says, and they both should scoop together. They both should scoop together, right? Right. Imam Abu Dawud and Nasai and Ahmad has increased in the beginning of the hadith, and he prohibited that one of them, any man should comb his hair every day, or he also prohibited that he should urinate in the place where he makes ghusl, in the bathroom. Rawah ibn Majah from Abdullah ibn Sarjas, right? So daily to comb your hair is prohibited, because this is now got to do more with beautifying. You understand it? So the best way is, the sunnah way they say, is to comb your hair comb your hair one day, don't comb your hair the next day, comb your hair the third day again. That's the proper way to do it, right? And then when you make urinate in the bathroom, then that creates waswasa and whispers in your heart, and then your salah will also get destroyed like it, literally. In the bathroom.